Hi everybody, my name is Lana, and this is my first Glee action to Glee, of course, and it's my first video. Hopefully, I know it's a little fuzzy right now, but as time progresses, hopefully it'll get better. Um, I didn't want to do my reaction while I was watching the show for this episode, um, because I'm not sure if I really am ready for you to see how crazy I act when I'm watching Glee, but you know, maybe next time, we'll see. But I just wanted to give you my thoughts to this week's show and my thoughts on the previews for next week's show. So, this week was Sectionals. And it started with the old cast coming back home for the holidays, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed very, very much to see Mercedes and Santana and Finn and Quinn and Puck and Mike all back together again. I thought that was very sweet the way they brought them in and they sang together. I just enjoyed that a lot. I missed them all together. And to have them mentoring the new students was amazing. I thought that was a good idea. I wish we would have had more interaction, not just with Quinn and Kitty, but with Santana and Marley and Wade and Unique and Mercedes. I want to see them do more, and I was excited about it. I thought it was good. I love the Unholy Trinity getting back together and singing again. That was cute. Say a little prayer for me. Back at Parallels. I love that. Um, I'll start with the McKinley stories, and then I'll move on to the New York stories. I enjoyed seeing, like I said, everybody come together. Even though I wish Rachel and Kurt would have came and could have overcome the drama and the awkwardness, but it takes time, so I get it. Um, Kitty is whoa. I think she's crazy and evil, and I don't like that she tries to just be like, oh, it's because I'm Christian, and her snotty behavior and bad attitude and awful comments, racist comments, awful comments. Just ugh. Me being a Christian myself, come on, really. But I get it. I get it. But that's just ugly. It's really ugly how she talks. And what she's doing to Marley is just disgusting. It's disgusting to try to make people feel overweight and then say it's genetics because her mom is big. That's just ridiculous, and ugh, I just don't like it. I don't like the whole bulimia storyline, but I guess it's very important because a lot of people are suffering. So I understand what the writers are trying to do because it's very important to make the storylines real, for their audience. So, and to help people who are going through things like that. I mean, you got the dyslexia storyline going on with Ryder, and then now you got the bulimia storyline with Marley. It's just, I understand it. I understand it completely. I just, I, I do like Marley with Jake, but I like Marley with Ryder. But I think it's too early, too soon right now for me personally to get invested in the young couples because they're still gonna go through pretty much everybody. That's just what Glee does. um, I so sectionals come up and they decide they're gonna do Gangnam Style, and I was very interested in seeing how they were gonna pull that off, singing in Korean with this cast, and I was excited to see it. I knew Tina was gonna do the lead. I saw the previews on that. And I was excited. I was excited to see that happen. And then when Marley was feeling sick and everything, we knew why she was feeling sick, and but she was, because of all the foolishness going on. I really wanted Santana to confront Quinn so much more about what she think Kitty's doing or what she knows Kitty's doing, to the point where Quinn would investigate and maybe ask Kitty about it, even though we know Kitty would have lied because that's how evil she is. But that confrontation between Quinn and Santana was, classic. You always have those two. They love to hate and hate to love. They love hard, they hate hard. I love Quinn Santana, mixing it up. I always enjoy that. But I wish it would have been a little bit more though. That they could have actually got something. I don't know. Maybe that'll be next week. We'll see. But I as they were doing Gangnam Style and doing the performance was good. It was really good. Tina did excellent. I was very impressed with Tina, and I was like, she sounds so great. So, and I was excited with the whole. It was good. And then we saw Marley getting off, woozy at the end of the song, and she passed out at the end of the song, and that's how the show went off. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if they're going to win sectionals or not, but that's that. I just can't see the New Directions losing sectionals, because that would be a tragedy among tragedies for the reigning national champions not to even make it back to nationals. I just think that's a travesty. So, we we shall see. We shall see. But I also want to go to Kurt and Blaine, because Kurt got some really good advice from his boss there, Jessica Parker. Can't remember her name, but on the show. But she gave him some advice because she was talking to him about moving on and how he felt, he was saying he was over it and he just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And she told him, you really can't move on until you accept the apology from the person who wrongs you, until you forgive. You can't really move on because that is still going to hold you. So it was a good scene at the end when Kurt called Blaine and just told him he was still mad at him. Let him know, hey, I'm not over this. Excuse me. I'm still upset about it. But you told me you were sorry so many times, and I forgive you. And I know you're sorry, and you're telling the truth. And so I love that moment. And so Kurt told him they'll talk over Christmas, which Blaine was super excited about, to hear that they were going to even speak of Christmas. And I just think that's awesome. I think Kurt and Blaine needs to talk, and maybe they don't need, if maybe they might stay. They might get back together. Maybe they won't. Maybe not until the end of the year, because I think Kurt needs to go out and experience dating somebody else to realize how much he truly loves Blaine. Because sometimes I think you have to go out and be, away from the person that you love to really know how much you love somebody. Especially if they've done what Blaine did to Kurt. His feelings are all mashed up and he's confused about it. He loves him, but he's mad. And I think Kurt probably needs to go out and, be with somebody else, date somebody else and amongst all that, realize Blaine is truly his one true love. And so I'm rooting for Kurt and Blaine. I love Klaine. I love them. But I think both of them needs to, while they have this year apart, they need to, feel how it is to be away from each other, to truly understand how much they love being together. That's that. Rachel and Brody had the confrontation about him sleeping with the teacher, and she was all upset about it. And Brody just had to break it down to her. He said, listen, you went back home to be with your boyfriend, and I'm not going to sit around and wait for you. And she was like, but I broke up with him. He was like, how am I supposed to know that is what was going to happen? I'm not a mind reader. We have to be adults about this situation. We're not in high school anymore, and we're not going to play high school games. And he had to break it down to her, and she couldn't do nothing but accept it because it was the truth. She's so used to getting her way with everything, and she is learning quickly in New York that everything is not going to go. It's not going to be the Rachel Berry show in New York. And she's learning all the hard lessons So she and Brody talk it over. They agreed to move on from that situation, and he said he wouldn't do it again. And that was that. Um, and he came to their house to cook Thanksgiving dinner. And Kurt invited his boss over for Thanksgiving dinner. Now, this is the most random thing that happened in this whole show to me. I thought it was kind of kooky, crazy, nutty, wild kind of thing. But they bust out, well, Curtin and Rachel and Brody were eating, and then knock on the door, and all these drag queens and people started coming in the apartment, and I guess all the people who his boss invited to the party, and they all came in, and then she calls, and she's like, this rain is a bee, and what's a bee, and I mean the rain, and then she busts out into let's have a kiki. Now, I've heard the song before, and I know it's a, fun little number, but let's have a kiki, really? Kiki, let's shut the door, lock. Just lock. I found that interesting. It was an interesting number, and it just popped up in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner, and they had a kiki, and then mashed it up with turkey lurkey. Really? Really, Glee? But I get it. It was all the pop stuff and Kiki and Gangnam Style and all that stuff. It was. I get it. I get it. It's Glee. It's random. That's the show. That's why we love it so much. But it was a little too random for me. So that was Glee. That was Sectionals. We don't know if they won or not because everybody was concerned about Marley passing out in the middle at the end of the song. So we don't know what's going to happen if they're going to win Sectionals. But the previews for next week's show show the cast singing Dreams or something on the, I don't know. Mr. Shu was talking about them, if they leave the stage, is an automatic disqualification. And we don't know. We don't know if they're going to win or not. And if they don't win, I think that's kind of sad. Even though everybody who's a senior this year was on last year's team and they know what it's like to win a national championship, I think they should have the opportunity to defend it. And I don't know. But I hope they do. And my biggest thing about the previews for next week, we have a new couple forming, and it's looking like it's going to be Sam Titney. Sam and Brittany, or Bam, if you like it. So Sam and Brittany, we see them kissing, and she said, "You're the only person that makes me smile." So I think we got a new group forming, a new crew, a new twosome. Now, okay, now these are my personal thoughts and just my personal opinions. I love Sam. I love Sam. Sam could do pretty much no wrong in my eyes. I love him. And I love Brittany. I love Brittany. She's crazy. She's kooky. And I think they're cute. I said they were going to get together at the end of season 3. I said that because I saw them at the end of the song on Goodbye, on the season finale on Goodbye, when the seniors were singing to the underclassmen. And after they gave up, the seniors came and sat down, and the juniors and sophomores were standing up. And Brittany and Sam were hugging up next to each other. She had her head on his shoulder. Now, some people don't read a whole lot into that. I took it like that's gonna be the next couple. I said it then, and my predictions are coming into fruition now. Do I love Brittany and Sam together? I can learn to like them because, of course, me personally, I'm a Sam Sadie's fan. Love Sam Sadie's. I always will love Sam Sadie's. I wish we could have got a little bit more closure with Sam Sadie's. Like, Sam and Mercedes could have talked and said, this, this, I'm in LA, you're still here, blah, blah, blah. It's just not working. Give us some closure. Hopefully they'll do that. I doubt it very seriously because I know they're not going to put them together. But I just wanted some closure like every other couple had.